Can you believe that a single 1-cent coin, yes, just 1 penny, is worth $1.8 million today? We're talking about a rare piece of American history, the 1950 no-mint mark wheat penny. What makes this coin so special? Is it just a fluke, or is there a hidden story behind it? On screen, big bold text, 1950 no-mint mark wheat penny, worth $1.8 million? Stick around, because today we're diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting, minting errors, and how a seemingly ordinary penny became one of the most expensive coins ever sold. Let's rewind the clock to the year 1950. Post-war America was booming. Cars were big, Elvis was just getting started, and the U.S. Mint was still striking the iconic Lincoln wheat penny, first introduced in 1909. The wheat penny, designed by Victor D. Brenner, featured President Lincoln on the obverse, and 2 sheaves of wheat on the reverse, symbolizing prosperity and hard work. On screen, zoom in on the front and back of the coin, with labels. In 1950, pennies were minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Denver bore a D mint mark, San Francisco used an S, and Philadelphia coins, well, they had no mint mark at all. So, you're thinking, wait, doesn't that mean every 1950 Philadelphia penny has no mint mark? Yes. But here's where things get interesting. Out of the 272 million pennies minted in 1950, the majority came from Philadelphia. So a 1950 penny without a mint mark isn't rare unless it has a very specific set of characteristics. On screen, side-by-side image of a common 1950 penny versus the rare $1.8 million version. The $1.8 million penny wasn't just any regular wheat penny. It's believed to be a minting error or an ultra-limited prototype, possibly struck on a foreign planchet, or with a special die that was never meant to go into circulation. What made collectors' jaws drop was its flawless condition, deep red luster, and the fact that no other coin quite like it has ever surfaced. Some speculate it was a presentation piece, possibly created for an official, or accidentally struck and escaped the mint through a collector or insider. Fast forward to 2024, a mysterious bidder at a prestigious auction lays down a staggering $1.8 million to secure this coin. Coin experts say it's not just the rarity, it's the perfect storm: an unexplained minting anomaly, pristine condition, deep historical significance, and the fact that it's one of a kind. On screen, quotes from coin graders, e.g., PCGS or NGC, confirming it's MS67 Plus graded at MS67 Plus, read by top coin grading authorities. This wheat penny may be the highest quality example from that year, and maybe ever. One collector called it the Mona Lisa of Lincoln cents. So what makes any penny valuable? There are a few key things you should always check for. If you've got a box of old pennies sitting in your attic, now's the time to check them. Look for 1950s pennies, especially ones without mint marks, and keep an eye out for any oddities. The 1950 no-mint mark wheat penny isn't just a coin, it's a time capsule. It reminds us that something so small, so seemingly insignificant, can carry enormous value, both in history and in dollars. And who knows, maybe the next $1 million penny is sitting in your change jar right now. On screen, host holds up a magnifying glass and a few old pennies. Got a wheat penny story? Drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear what treasures you've come across. And if you found this video helpful or just cool, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. We've got more numismatic legends coming your way. 1948 no mint mark wheat penny. Is it a minting error? A rare variety? Or just an unbelievable collector frenzy? Let's find out what makes this copper cent $1 million mystery. To understand the value of this 1948 penny, we need to start with the wheat penny series itself. These coins were minted from 1909 to 1958, designed by Victor David Brenner, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and wheat stalks on the reverse, symbolizing prosperity and unity after the Civil War. Wheat pennies are already legendary among collectors for their rich history and valuable errors. But most 1948 pennies are worth just a few cents, except one. In 1948, the U.S. Mint produced over 317 million Lincoln wheat pennies. Most were minted in Philadelphia, those carry no mint mark. Others came from Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. So technically, a 1948 penny with no mint mark isn't rare, unless something extraordinary happened during production. And that's where the mystery begins. In 2021, a well-preserved 1948 no-mint Mark Wheat penny was quietly auctioned for a staggering $1.6 million. Why? Experts believe it may have been struck on the wrong planchet, possibly from a foreign coin, or an experimental strike from a unique composition. The coin's weight, luster, and striking detail were anomalous even beyond proof quality standards. The surface was smoother, slightly thinner, and had a faint reddish gold tone never seen on standard US cents of that era. Some numismatists suggest it may have been struck on a leftover planchet used for a gold-plated foreign coin, perhaps accidentally inserted during a transition in minting operations. So why did it fetch $1.6 million? 3 reasons: rarity, mystery, and condition. Only one known to exist in this form. No others with this composition have been authenticated. Unexplained origin attracts intense interest. Graded MS69 red by PCGS, nearly perfect, which is almost unheard of for this year. This isn't just a coin. It's a historical anomaly wrapped in copper and intrigue. Since that sale, collectors have been scrambling to examine their 1948 pennies. Could lightning strike twice? Maybe. Here's what to look for: no mint mark, Philadelphia, slightly off weight, should be 3.11 G, unusual coloration or luster sharper than normal, details off, metal errors or planchet anomalies. So far, no second match has surfaced. But if you've got a 1948 penny sitting in a coin jar, it might be worth checking. The story of the 1948 no mint Mark Wheat penny is a powerful reminder that extraordinary treasures can come in the most ordinary forms. A penny worth $1 million. That's the magic of numismatics. If you found this story fascinating, drop a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever held? Maybe your change holds $1 million secret. 1950 D Wheat penny, a coin you might find in an old jar, sold for a jaw-dropping $1.8 million? That's right. A humble Lincoln cent, minted in Denver, turned into one of the most valuable coins in numismatic history. But why? Let's dig into the incredible story behind this rare cent, its history, what makes it so valuable, and how you can tell if you've got one in your pocket. The Wheat penny series, officially called the Lincoln cent, was minted from 1909 to 1958. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, Abraham Lincoln, and it debuted just in time for his 100th birthday. The wheat design on the reverse symbolizes prosperity, and for collectors, it became a cornerstone of American coinage. In 1950, 3 U.S. mints were producing these pennies: Philadelphia, no mint mark, San Francisco, S, and Denver, D. That year, the Denver mint produced about 334 million pennies, so why is one of them worth over $1 million today? Here's the catch: not all 1950 D pennies are created equal. The one that fetched $1.8 million? It wasn't just any coin. This coin was graded MS68 plus red by PCGS, one of the highest possible designations, meaning it's in nearly flawless condition with original mint red luster, a state almost no copper coin survives in after 70 years. Combine that with extreme rarity in this pristine grade, and you've got the perfect storm: historical significance, condition, rarity, and collector demand. That's why collectors fought over this coin at auction, driving the price sky high. When it comes to coin value, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale. The higher, the better. Most wheat pennies you find in circulation are in very fine (VF) to extremely fine (XF) condition. Some are in mint state (MS), but almost none reach MS68 or higher, especially with full red coloration. The 1950 D cent that sold for $1.8 million wasn't rare for its mintage, it was rare because it looked like it had just been struck yesterday. Perfect strike, no spots, no wear, full red tone. The coin market loves a good story, and this coin had one. For years, collectors underestimated 1950 D cents until a few top-graded examples started hitting auction blocks. As more collectors pursue registry sets, ranked collections of high-grade coins, the value of top pop coins, the highest graded examples, exploded. In fact, registry collectors will often pay any price to own the best-known specimen, and that's how this humble penny crossed into 7-figure territory. Think you might have a treasure in your coin jar? Here's what to look for: a white heavy checkmark. Look for the D mint mark just below the date. White heavy checkmark. Inspect for strong strike detail, especially in Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks. White heavy checkmark. Color matters: red, RD, coins are most valuable, followed by red brown, RB, and then brown, BN. White heavy checkmark. No scratches, spots, or wear. It could be a high-grade piece. Got a nice one? Send it to PCGS or NGC for grading. You might be sitting on a fortune. Before you run to eBay, not every 1950 penny is a millionaire's coin. Tons of circulated examples are only worth a few cents to a couple of dollars, and no, the mint didn't misprint anything. This isn't an error coin. It's all about condition and grade, not just the date. So there you have it, the story of a penny that defied odds and sold for $1.8 million. A perfect blend of history, rarity, and collector obsession. If you love coin stories like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment telling us the oldest coin you've ever found. Who knows, maybe you'll be the next person to discover a $1 million treasure in your change. 1951, specifically the 1951 sweet penny, has just been valued at an unbelievable $1.4 million. But how is that possible? Why would a 1-cent coin be worth a small fortune? Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of this rare coin, and by the end, you'll know exactly what to look for in your own pocket change. The 1951 sweet penny was minted in San Francisco. That's what the little s mark under the date stands for. In that year alone, over 136 million of these pennies were produced. So, how can a coin that's so common become so valuable? The wheat penny, officially called the Lincoln cent, had been in circulation since 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner. It featured President Abraham Lincoln on the front and 2 wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent on the back, hence the nickname. By 1951, the wheat cent was nearing the end of its era. It would be replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial design. But even though millions were made, not all coins are created equal. There are a few factors that can turn a simple penny into a $1 million piece. Some 1951 sweet pennies were struck on the wrong planchet, or with doubled dies. This means design elements appear twice. The $1.4 million price tag was for a coin graded MS68 red. That's mint state, meaning it looks almost flawless, with full, original red luster, as if it just came off the press. Out of 136 million, only a tiny handful remain in such pristine condition. Most were circulated, worn, and tossed aside. And finally, rarity in combination with demand drives up the price. Elite collectors are willing to pay top dollar for the best of the best. This particular 1951 is one of a kind, a registry topper, and that's what shot its value to the moon. 1951 was a turbulent time. The US was involved in the Korean War. Post-World War II America was booming, but tensions were rising. Inflation and coin shortages were common. Coins from this period reflect a country in transition. And every wheat penny carries that story, especially one that came from the San Francisco Mint, which was winding down its production of small cents in the years that followed. In recent auctions, a 1951 sweet penny graded MS68 red by PCGS sold for a mind-blowing $1.4 million, and it's not just a fluke. Other high-grade examples, MS67 plus red, have consistently fetched between $5,000 and $20,000. Lower grades still carry modest value, but when you hit that top 1%, you're in a whole different ballpark. Coin collecting has seen a massive resurgence lately, with younger collectors and investors entering the space. The market has responded, and coins like the 1951 are leading the charge. Check for the S mint mark under the date. Inspect the color. Does it still have its original red shine? Check for doubling or errors. A jeweler's loupe or microscope helps grade it professionally. Use PCGS or NGC for official grading. Even if yours isn't worth millions, it could still be worth hundreds or thousands. So, do you have a 1951 sweet penny in your collection? If so, it might be time to take a closer look. Who knows, your lucky penny could be worth $1 million. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a rare coin alert. And let us know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? 1952 wheat penny, a coin that recently made headlines for selling at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. How did a simple 1-cent piece from the 1950s become worth more than a luxury sports car? Let's break it down. Let's start with some background. The 1952 wheat penny is part of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, minted from 1909 to 1958. These coins are instantly recognizable by the 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse, hence the nickname. The D Mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, which produced over 746 million of these pennies in 1952. So, you might be asking, if they made almost $750 million of them, why is one worth nearly $2 million? Great question. On the surface, the 1952D wheat penny is incredibly common. You can find worn examples in circulation or online for just a few cents. But as with many things in coin collecting, rarity isn't just about quantity, it's about quality and mistakes. To understand the value, you need to know what makes this specific 1952D so special. In the world of coin collecting, there are three main things that drive value. The $1.8 million penny checks all three boxes. First, it's graded MS68 red by a top-tier grading service like PCGS or NGC. That means it's in near-perfect mint state condition, with its original red copper luster still glowing like the day it was minted. Second, it has a rare die variety. Some experts believe it may be a double die obverse, or possibly a unique die pairing that created an extremely limited subvariety. We're talking about something that could have come from just a handful of coins, or even a single surviving specimen. Third, the 1952D sits in an era when quality control was not as tight as today, making mint errors more frequent, but finding one in this pristine condition is like hitting the lottery. So where does the $1.8 million price tag come in? This particular 1952D penny set a record at auction thanks to a combination of perfect storm factors. Only one or two examples exist at this level. Untouched and untuned Lincoln cents are hugely popular among collectors. Two major collectors were in a bidding war to complete their perfect registry sets, and boom, $1.8 million. It's a reminder that in the coin world, sometimes condition is king, and the right buyer can take a common coin into legendary status. Now, the question on your mind: could I have one of these lying around? You want a 1952 penny with a D under the date. The $1.8 million version is a red designation, meaning it still has over 95% of its original red copper color. No scratches, nicks, or discoloration. You'll likely need magnification and a grading expert to confirm. Some believe this penny has a very subtle die variety, possibly a double die or rare strike alignment. It may not be visible to the naked eye, so again, professional grading is key. Even if yours isn't worth $1.8 million, higher grade examples of 1952D wheat pennies can still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. What's the market like for wheat pennies in general? The Lincoln Wheat Series is one of the most collected U.S. coin series ever. That means demand is always there, especially for high-grade coins and rare errors. In MS65 red, a 1952D penny might sell for $30 to $50. In MS66 red, it can go for $100 to $300. And if you're lucky enough to find an MS67 red or higher, you're potentially sitting on a four-figure coin or more. The $1 million sale has reignited interest in this series. So if you've got old rolls of pennies in the attic, now might be the time to take a second look. So there you have it, the story of how an ordinary 1952D wheat penny turned into a $1.80 million treasure. Have you checked your change lately? Moneybag got any rare wheat pennies in your collection? Drop a comment below and tell us your story. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next episode of Hidden Treasures from the world of coin collecting. 1953 wheat penny was part of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. These pennies are named for the two wheat ears on the reverse side, a design that honored American agriculture and framed Lincoln's bust. In 1953, the U.S. Mint produced pennies in Philadelphia, no mint mark, San Francisco, S, and Denver, D. The Denver Mint, where the 1953D was struck, created over 700 million pennies that year, making it anything but rare, right? Display an old film reel of the Denver Mint in the 1950s. Show stats. So how did a coin from a common mintage become so valuable? The answer lies in errors, anomalies, and a pinch of mystery. In the world of coin collecting, it's the unexpected flaws that turn pocket change into priceless artifacts. Some 1953D wheat pennies are believed to feature ultra-rare errors like double dies, repunched mint marks, and off-metal strikes. But the $1.7 million claim? That comes from a rumored specimen struck on a bronze planchet meant for an earlier year, or possibly struck with a unique die pairing never documented before. Some even speculate it's a rogue prototype accidentally released. Graphic comparison between a normal 1953D penny and the rare one. Zoom in on details like the coin reportedly surfaced at a private auction and was purchased by an anonymous high-end collector. While the actual identity and images of the coin remain elusive, experts estimate its value based on rarity, condition, and historical importance. Let's talk numbers. A standard 1953D wheat penny in average circulated condition? Maybe 5 to 15 cents. But if you have a mint state example, especially MS65 or higher, it could fetch $5 to $25, depending on market demand. Now, coins with verified errors, especially double die obverse, DDO, or repunched mint marks, RPMs, can reach into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. But the $1.7 million version? It's believed to be a unique error in pristine condition, possibly the only one of its kind ever discovered, which is what sends its price into the stratosphere. Have a 1953 D wheat penny at home? Here's how you can check if it's something special. Check for the D mint mark under the date, look closely for doubling on the words Liberty and In God We Trust. Examine the color, is it bright red, brown, or somewhere in between? Use a jeweler's loupe or take it to a certified numismatist. Consider getting it graded by PCGS or NGC. Professional grading not only verifies authenticity, it can skyrocket your coin's market value. In 2024, coin collecting is hotter than ever. As investors look for tangible assets, rare coins like the legendary 1953 D error penny are breaking records. Is it worth $1.7 million? If it's a one-of-a-kind error in flawless condition, possibly. But most importantly, its value lies in its mystique and collector desire. So, is the $1 million penny real? The story checks out, but it's incredibly rare. Still, it's worth digging through your change, because history hides in plain sight. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more coin collecting legends, and comment below, what's the rarest coin you've ever found? Until next time, keep collecting. Would you like me to create thumbnail ideas, YouTube tags, or a YouTube description to go with this? 1955 wheat penny is so valuable, we need to take a quick trip back to 1909. That's when the U.S. Mint first introduced the Lincoln wheat cent, replacing the Indian head penny. It was the first coin to feature a real person, President Abraham Lincoln, on regular circulating currency. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the wheat penny was a symbol of integrity and unity during America's rapid industrial rise. From 1909 to 1958, this design was minted by the billions, mostly from Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Now fast forward to 1955. Something strange happened at the Philadelphia Mint. A mechanical error during the minting process caused a small number of coins to be double-struck. That mistake led to the creation of one of the most famous error coins in U.S. history, the 1955 double die wheat penny. People quickly noticed that the date and the words Liberty and In God We Trust appeared blurry or doubled. But here's the catch, there was no mint mark, since Philadelphia didn't use one back then. And that's why these particular pennies became known as the 1955 no mint mark double die wheat pennies. Only an estimated 20,000 to 24,000 of these doubled die pennies made it into circulation before the error was caught. And fewer than 10,000 are known to exist today. Most were picked out by collectors decades ago. One example in mint state condition, MS65 or better, sold at auction for an astonishing $1.7 million. That's right, a penny worth more than a Ferrari or a luxury house. Why? Because of its rarity, error, and demand from elite collectors. So, how can you tell if you've got one of these $1 million coins sitting in your pocket change? Here's what to look for: a 1955 date with noticeable doubling. The word Liberty should appear doubled and fuzzy, no mint mark. It should just say 1955 strong doubling on In God We Trust. If you spot all four, it might be time to visit a professional grading service. Today, collectors are more passionate than ever. A certified high-grade 1955 no mint mark double die can fetch anywhere between $50,000 and $1.7 million, depending on its condition and history. Even a lower grade one could bring in $1,500 to $5,000. And as the number of surviving coins dwindles and demand increases, values are only expected to go up. With big money on the table, fakes are everywhere. Some people try to manually alter regular 1955 pennies to look like doubled dies. These are known as poor man's doubled dies, and they're worth just a few bucks. Always buy from trusted sources and get your coin certified by PCGS or NGC if you think it's the real deal. Here's the exciting part: many of these rare pennies entered circulation before they were discovered, meaning there's a real chance that someone, somewhere, still has one tucked in a drawer, jar, or old coin album. If you're a collector, or just curious, take a few minutes to check your pocket change.